All right, the big waves have started. You're looking from Avon, North Carolina behind me. Let's show you a bigger view of what's happening here in Avon. And you'll notice the waves are crashing ashore. They're going to continue to do so, obviously, through the next 24 to 48 hours as this tropical system approaches us. You can see the winds starting to gust, too, especially closer to the coast, 26 Virginia Beach, 21 in Currituck. These winds will double tonight. We could see some gusts 40, maybe 45, 50 miles per hour parts of Hampton Roads and higher in the Outer Banks. Here's the latest on the system from the National Hurricane Center, 11 a.m. advisory, moving north at 12 miles per hour. You notice the center is right here, okay? Now, the storms and the rain are actually away from the center. That's why it's not a true tropical cyclone yet, but for the impacts we're going to see, that doesn't really matter too much. We're going to see these bands of rain approach late this afternoon and evening, and then swing through into Saturday, and that'll give us some pretty hefty rainfall totals when all is said and done. You notice the rain overspread in the area this afternoon into tonight. Pockets of rain at times, locally heavy rain that adds up to several inches. These are the bands I'm going to watch very closely here around 11 o'clock, also into tomorrow morning around 3 a.m. and then even tomorrow morning 5, 6, 7 a.m. because those little spiral bands coming through, they could also produce some quick spin-up tornadoes. Now, these tornadoes in tropical systems, typically they form very quickly and you don't get a whole lot of warning. So don't put your phone on Do Not Disturb tonight. Leave it on. All right, one night where you may get woken up a couple times by those alerts, just because we could see a few overnight tornado warnings. Myself, Jeremy, and Jeff will all be here tonight. Keep you updated on those if we get any alerts issued into tomorrow morning. But you notice by tomorrow afternoon, things are improving. The rain is pulling away from us. And we're actually going to have a pretty nice night Saturday night. Sunday looks okay. No major impact Sunday. Should be okay across the area. So kind of breaking this down region by region. The Outer Banks, okay, from pretty much Kitty Hawk south, 4 to 6 inches of rain, 40 to 60 mile per hour winds with some gusts up to 70. All these wind numbers we're telling you are primarily gusts. For northeast North Carolina, 30 to 45 mile per hour gusts, maybe up to 50, and that's where I think we could have the higher tornado risk too. Same thing for the south side, especially in Chesapeake, Portsmouth, Virginia Beach. Got to watch that tornado risk tonight. 2 to 5 inches of rain pretty much across eastern Virginia. Some higher totals locally could occur, and you see that on our models here. There's still a little bit of differences in the models of how much rain we're going to see. But either way you look at it, it's going to be a soaking rain across the area and also pretty windy from time to time. Give you a couple more numbers here on some of the wind gusts. You notice eastern shore already gusting up to 36 at Wallops Island. We go further south, you'll notice portions of Currituck, 21, 28 Elizabeth City, and then we're checking in at 38 right now at Oregon Inlet and 27 at the Coast Guard station there in Hatteras, where you pick up the ferry to go across to Ocracoke. Overnight, winds will get stronger. At times, gust up to 50, maybe a little bit higher towards the Virginia Beach ocean front as we go through the overnight hours. It's going to be a windy night. Secure anything like your trash can, outside umbrellas, things like that, patio furniture. Just don't want to secure that tonight before the winds really pick up heading into the overnight hours. Tomorrow, still gusty through the entire day, and that gusty wind will have a factor in our tides. The forecast around 6.4 feet. I think solidly over 6 is a pretty good bet here for tonight's high tide around 3 a.m. But even as you head home tonight, 3, 4 o'clock this afternoon, we could have some minor tidal flooding across the area. Now, that is kind of comparable to what we saw back in January of 2022 at around 6.2 feet. A little bit higher than that. That would be, below Sandy, and I don't think we're going to see that level. But a couple more numbers here for you. We'll talk much more about this coming up in a little bit in terms of some high tide forecasts. But, a solid storm with some moderate tidal flooding from time to time. That's going to impact the areas of Ocean View, Grandview, and Hampton, places like that. The wind's going to pick up tonight. The rain's going to pick up tonight. If you don't live near a tidal creek or something like that, it's going to be a rainy, windy night. And at times, we could have a few down trees, power lines, stuff like that. Not a huge hurricane by any means, or even an incredibly strong tropical storm, but one that's going to cause a few problems tonight.
It's nice that it's going to be on a Saturday morning because
move.
a lot of people will be inside, maybe sleeping in, taking advantage of that.
Yeah. So that sounds like one of the big pieces of advice is to stay off the roads if you don't need to be there.
Yeah.